Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. While we're waiting for them parts for the Farmall A, the carburetor, I decided, well, I'm gonna just dig out these Minneapolis Moline tractors I got. I got two of them, a Z and an R. And I had this particular one, the Z, started a couple of times already this year. And yesterday, as in the next video there, I started it up again and brought it up here. Okay, we're going to just see, even though it's running yesterday, we're just going to see, will the old girl start? Once we got it up here, I got a couple of things I want to do to it. It doesn't run the greatest. The governor is this piece here. I do have an alternate governor. I think I'm just going to try pulling this one off and throwing the other one on, just to see if it performs better. You know, not being so violent when it's adjusting the governor speed. This one is plumb worn out. But anyway, what we're going to do is, there's an ammeter on this tractor, but there's an alternator, 12 volt alternator. And the ammeter doesn't really register many amps. But I've gone ahead and I've got this here, it's brand new. It came with the Cub carburetor. So I got it wired up here just to show the voltage. I think you can see, maybe it's too far away, but you should be able to see that it, when I basically turn the key on, it registers almost up to 14 volts, which I'm on the way to the back. I want to source out, I don't have an extra bracket for this headlight. I only got the one headlight. It's just a pretty simple bracket. Maybe we can get into it from this side. Yeah, there it is. It's just a flat iron built in a like a Z configuration, I suppose. But anyway, I want to see if I can get a couple of headlights on here and wire it up so it's actually got lights. Both fenders have factory drilled holes on this side and across on the other side, and I don't know what they're for. I don't know if they are to hold lights, or are these factory drilled holes back here to hold a light bracket. I'm not sure. This fender, well, they're both damaged at the back. But anyway, that's a thing I want to address, getting some lights put on the tractor. And this is one of my favorite features of a Minneapolis letter tractor, that Comfort King seat. It's even got a little hoop on here. You connect the rope to it for your trip mechanism on your pull along implement. And it does have, you know, notches here to adjust the tension, you know, the stiffness of the seat. But the problem with that there mechanism, I've got this PTO shroud And once it's mounted in, you can see that when the seat is in the middle, it's lined right up onto that cover, and it's broken it out. I don't know how they intended that to actually work. If you have a power takeoff implement here, there's a little spring and a hasp that's going to hit the seat. I don't know, it was never a good thing. I imagine that's why it was taken off. But we're going to get that put on and work with this, and then run on down the hill. We'll bring the R up. And here I am here showing off my professional video making skills. Did this clip with no mic turned on, so there's no audio, but you can see that I got 3 bolts put in holding that shroud down. One of them is broken out in the corner, so it's just holding nothing, but it's all in place anyway. Moving on over to the working side of this engine, where the alternator is, carburetor, etc. Coil. I wanted to get this alternator so it's working, and I discovered that some electrical engineer, probably by the name of Milt, had wired this here particular alternator in wrong. So what I did, on this terminal, clearly says ground. I made a ground cable, went directly to the block of the tractor. This one here is to take power from the switch, so I just tied it to the positive or the hot side of the coil. So when you turn the ignition on, it sends power to the alternator. This here red line comes straight off the high voltage or the main power line back in the upper corner there, goes straight to the battery. So from the battery to the alternator, from the alternator across into the first blade of that alternator. So I think I got that all correct. And let's move on over to the dash. Now looking at this dash, you can see that that gauge is a little out of whack. It's leaning over the positive side of the 0. That's just, it's no current in it at all, so it's a little bit out of whack. So when I turn the switch on, you can see that it pulls the needle down to 0. So that part, I believe, is working. While we're here, an interesting is when I got this tractor, there was no rubber hose to the air breather. And well, you can't really get a particular S-curved hose like that. I don't know, I could never find one. But I had these plumbing supplies. I had to buy this special just to tie it to the throat of the carburetor, to the pipe. But I just made a plumbing intake tube, and it seems to work. It'll be fine. Looks pretty custom, actually. Sitting on top of the front tire here is the complete governor mechanism for these engines. And the one in the engine is actually worn out, so it really has a lot to be desired about opening the governor, throttle up, you know, for power. It's pretty violent in it. It waits too long before it opens it up, and then it sticks open, and it's pretty worn out. I was going to go ahead and put this unit on this engine here, but I'm kind of thinking the R is actually worse than this one, so I might just put this in the R once I get it up here. Leave this one here, run with that one for now. But anyway, let's start this old girl up and see what happens to our electrical system, whether we're going to charge or not. it started up right away, and right away I think you could see that the amp gauge went over into the 10 amp area, so minus whatever it's showing now. So it's probably putting out 7 amps or so, and yeah, that gauge just does not go down to the 0. But anyway, that's the work I'm going to do on this Z for now. As you could hear, it runs fairly good, but it's the governor seems to bucket a little bit, and it almost stalls out, and then it speeds up and does what it does. But I just want to do a couple of experiments here. This is a brand new volt gauge. The tractor is shut off, and it's a 12-volt battery. This is a brand new volt gauge, and it's showing, I believe, 13.5 volts by the needle. But on my digital meter, if I put the probes on here, shows 12.8, and I think that my digital readout is more accurate than that new gauge, like almost by, well, by a volt. So let's start it up and we'll see what both gauges show. Hopefully I got that on the camera. This gauge here would go up to 14, which is borderline red, like charging too much. But this digital readout showed 13.6, floating around in there anyway, 13.7. It's not quite 14. Well, it's absolutely, it's under the danger mark. 14 would be a little bit too much. So this system is generating properly as far as I am concerned. Interesting to note is in this system I got, there is no light or resistor in line with the, or diode or whatever in line with that line that feeds power to the alternator from the ignition. It just goes straight from ignition over to the alternator, and of course the engine shuts off, so it works fine. So I don't need to put an idiot light or a darn resistor in the system. So I'm kind of happy with how that's all working. A little bit of tinkering, and we got her working. It wasn't working when I drove it up here. So now rewiring the alternator, doing a few other things. Things are going good. So now we can run this thing all day, rake hay, cut hay, do whatever, or just plain tractor driving, and it'll be all good. Oh, I thought I heard something. I thought I was hearing a vehicle coming up, but no, we're still waiting on Amazon. But at any rate, I'm going to end this part of the video here. Just going to call it part 1. It's on the getting the Z running, and we did a good job on that, I think. Got a few things fixed up. Everything's working pretty good. And so we're going to call it here. And then start on the little R. I'll bring the R up and work with it. It's going to need a lot more work than this one did. So we're going to end it here, and by all means subscribe, like, and comment on the videos. Very much appreciated. And we'll catch up to you in part 2. Bye for now.